Hello, and welcome to this week's Devon the Detail podcast. I'm Rob Paxton, and we're here talking all things Salford Red Devils. Join the show this week, as ever, we have Paul Whiteside. Right, Paul, how's your week been, mate? Busy?
Yeah, I've been all right. Yeah, pretty busy, mate. I was busy last night when you phoned me at my torch. I did her outside at the van. Yeah, busy week, mate. Got a dog at the weekend as well.
Oh.
So was it this? Yeah, Saturday. So it's all blended into one this week. But yeah, busy with him, keeping him quiet and getting him trained and what have you. But he's doing all right. He's not too bad. He's behaving himself, going outside for his wheeze and what have you. So yeah, he's a bit boisterous, but he's doing okay.
Tell our listeners what your dog's called and describe it to us.
He's a black Labrador, and he's 8 weeks old. He's only little, and he's called Dixon. Dixon, yeah. He's named after Colin Dixon, the former
Not
Salford.
Dixon, Doc Green, no.
No. Colin Dixon, former Salford, great player. My dad's favourite all-time rugby league player. So, yeah, he always said to me, my dad, he said, "Have I ever got a black Labrador? I'd call it Dixon." So I thought, well, when we get one, I'll call ours Dixon. So we have done.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's getting a red collar soon as well, so he'll be a Salford supporter. So
be getting a red, like a neckerchief, maybe something like that from our new kit supplier.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get him inside. We've been playing a bit of rugby with him tonight, diving about and tackling him on the carpet and what have you. So yeah, he's good. He's good. But he can't go out yet though. He's got to have his jab next Thursday. His second jab, not his COVID jab, like a dog jab, and then he can go out. Then he can go out for walks and things like that. So yeah, he's looking forward to it because he's a bit caged in at the moment. He just likes running around the house, but you can tell he wants to go out. Go outside and be worn out and that. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. So it should be good in the next few weeks when we can start going out.
Yeah, Park is not with us. He's on vacation, enjoying the economy that you're building.
Nice. Yeah,
working all this time.
Yeah, it looked nice where he was going, didn't it? But do you see his pictures where he camped up by like a lake there or something? It looked lovely.
Like Bear Grylls.
Yeah, it looked nice. Well, I'd love to do something. I've never been camping before.
Have you not?
No. It just looks really nice, really chilled out. But I don't know whether Ellen, she always thinks it's a bit too much palaver taking all that stuff in your car and that. There's a lot of gear to take, but I've always fancied it.
I went camping when we played the Celtic Crusaders in Bridgend.
I've heard
Me,
before.
Banners Mike, Fungus, and John Hall. Great weekend. Magic it was. Like a big tent. Fungus, he was in the army before, and he had I thought it was a cook, but he might not have been. When we were putting the tent up, turned into like a sergeant major type, shouting out, "Do this, do that, do this." So I was like proper. Fell off my head, for a bit. But we had a good afternoon. We had beers and that, and yeah, fantastic. Really good afternoon. Really good away day. Won as well, which was great. Had a drink round Bridgend after, which was fantastic. And then staggered back to the tent, and it was like a camp, and they were all like tents around this like field in a circle. And we got in. And I said we had like a few beers inside. I said, right, we'll race you to the tent. So we set off, go, and we all a couple went left, one went right, and I went through the middle. Tripped over one of the guide ropes of his tent, legged it to our tent. Oh man, laughed so much, it was unreal. Proper. I don't know why it was funny. Not funny now, but at the time I laughed for like 15 minutes straight. Fantastic.
Yeah,
really quite enjoyed it. It's one of my best away days. That one.
When would that have been? About 2008?
Yeah.
Was
it that season? When we invade the pitch.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember going. We played him away a couple of times, didn't we, in that Rail Cup, didn't we, in the league game as well? Yeah, I remember going down there. There was one time we went and we chucked it down. And there was one time when it was decent weather, wasn't it? And it was quite a sunny day. Saturday,
it was a decent weather one because Fungus had like a barbecue. We had like beers in the afternoon talking. Really, it was quite good, really, because we talked about other things apart from rugby. It's the kind of thing you don't really do. I find at the rugby when you don't really, all you do is talk about rugby all the time. You don't really talk about anything else. So it was good to have sort of an afternoon chatting about sort of the world rather than just what's going on the field. Like.
Yeah. Them are the days, mate. Them are the
days. Glory days.
Yeah.
Yeah, always makes me chuckle, that one. So we got loads to go at. We're going to look back at the Huddesfield win last week. Got all the big news coming out of the club. And then we've got your amateur report, and then we're going to preview the game this week against Leigh. So what we'll do is start off with a victory against Huddersfield.
You're listening to Devil in the Detail, and this is your big match review.
So, Salford Red Devils were victorious at home to Huddersfield Giants. They won 18 points to 12, Paul. Good result for Richard Marshall's men, and a bad return for Ian Watson.
Yeah, it seems a while ago now that we're recording this. Thursday night? So it's almost a week ago. So I'm racking my brains, but I can remember it quite well. Yeah, it was a good game. I thought the first half, Huddersfield were on top, really, weren't they? And sort of had us at arm's length for long periods of the game. And I think for me, the changing point, I mean, the obvious one really was the interception, but they were attacking there, Huddersfield, weren't they? And they should have scored. I thought they had the numbers. I think it was Senior who was attacking. If he'd have offloaded there, they'd have been in. Did they kick the goal? That could have been 14-0, but we don't. We swoop on it. We get the interception, and Rhys Williams goes the length there, doesn't he, and scores that try, and it gets us right back into the game. Done 8-6 at half time, and even then, though, we were still behind, and it was going to be a tough second half against a decent Huddersfield side. But I thought we came out in that second half and a bit of adversity, give away some penalties, and Huddersfield got in front. They got level, got in front, and then we bounced back with some good tries, didn't we? I think Tuilola here was an excellent try, wasn't it? And then the Jack Ormond one from the kick through from Ackers, and you get the South Stand there, the scenes in the South Stand, the noise, and I mean some of the photographs that Steve McCormick took, absolute magic work. That one of Sam Luckley and Jack Ormond. I mean, I think the club said a picture paints 1,000 words, and it certainly did. And no, it was a great win. I thought it was a real gritty performance. Huddersfield are no mugs either. They'd won 3 games on the spin, and it was great to get over the line at the end. I was sat with you, wasn't on that press bit there, and I couldn't sit still. I was on pins. I was walking around. I just wanted the whistle to go. I've not been that tense at a game, and I think it was because of I think the Ian Watson thing, returning Luke Yates and things like that, and that sort of the extra spice added to it. You really wanted Salford to win, didn't you? And I'm so glad they did. It was an excellent performance. Very, very pleased with Richard Marshall and the boys.
Yeah, 8-0 down, though. Didn't start well. Bit disjointed. He kept spilling the ball. Was a frustration, I thought. Obviously, until the interception try from Williams. Lovely sort of read by Inu. And obviously, Inu not having the legs of old. Good play by him. Obviously, waiting for Williams to catch up. And then Williams got the ball, and there was no stopping the winger then. And to try just before half-time and just after is an important thing, I think, in rugby league. If you can get that momentum over that period, it's a big thing. And then when Tuilola scored to make it sort of 12-8, we had the wind in our sails there. Yeah, they came back, and that try by Jack Ormond, I think as well, Paul, that the defence as well. I think there were certain points in that game where Huddersfield were knocking on our door, and we kind of stood up to that sort of barrage of attacks really, really well, and the boys were well deserving of the victory in the end.
There was, yeah. I thought the defence was great. I mean, we only conceded 1 try in the game, and that try was Matty English going over Huddersfield. It was a sort of a forward run, powering over the line. So we weren't really picked off by Huddersfield. They didn't really sort of create anything. They didn't cut us to pieces. They didn't burst through us. So I think the resilience of the defence was excellent. And to score 3 tries to 1, I think is clinical for me. I know Ian Watson said that. What was his quote? Was we didn't win it, they lost it. Was it something?
We lost it. No, it was something like that. He wasn't very happy anyway.
They didn't win that. We lost it. I think.
Yeah, that was it.
Wasn't it? And I don't know where he's coming from there, because he only scored 1 try and never really looked like scoring. So I think really there, for me, I'd be saying, if I'd have been interviewing Ian Watson, I would have said to him, well, how come your side only scored 1 try? How come you couldn't break them down? So it was one of those. I understand his frustration. I really do understand him. He's under a lot of pressure, Watto, and he's going to defend his club because, rightly so, he works for Huddersfield now. So I get that. I totally get that. And no, it wasn't about that. It was about Salford, that win, and it was a good win for us, and a very gritty one as well. I think we've done that twice against Huddersfield. It's been tough games, it's been tough forward battles, and we've come out on top there twice. And I think that shows going forward now. What we need to do now is go to Leigh on Sunday and win. Because if we go there and get beat, because a banana skin that game, we all know that. If we go there and get beat, then that good work you've done against Huddersfield gets eroded away. So it's vital important we kick on from that now. But I was delighted. It was good and it was great. I think that the supporters were back there. What a difference it made with the crowd there. It was an excellent atmosphere. It was absolutely buzzing on Friday night. It was like the good times back again. And I mean, I know there wasn't thousands and thousands of people there, but the atmosphere was good, and it was good to get that result.
Yeah, I think the frustration for Ian Watson was the fact that he was 8-0 up, and we found our way back in. And
Yeah.
it's it's testimony to the players and Richard Marshall to get back from 8-0 up to get in front as well. And yeah, I think they've got to be proud of the performance. And it's the kind of game that you think to yourself, yeah, it's a tough contest. Do we normally come out on top in them kind of games historically? Not really. So it for me? It's kind of a +1 for me, really, and something to build on for this weekend. So, but like Huddersfield, like Leigh this week, like you said, we Leigh are bottom of the league, but our record at Leigh isn't the greatest. So a good sign would be go to Leigh, do a professional performance, and get a good win, and then we're on the roll, then, aren't we? And who knows where we can go from there.
That's right. Yeah. Just going back to the Huddersfield game, it was good to get that result because I think. Well, I'm not saying it's against the odds, but I think a lot of people expected Huddersfield to win that game, didn't they? They've expected them to do better this season. On paper, they've got a better side than they've spent a bit more money than what we've spent. And I think sometimes it was the most pleasing for me when I came away on Friday night is I thought we have that in us sometimes, that sort of desire, to get the result. I mean, if you go back to last season, Jackson Hastings came back with his new side in Wigan and we turned them over. So, we might be a small club sometimes, but we seem to be able to punch above our weight and come up with these results every now and again, and it's great when we do. So yeah, nothing against Watto really. I know there's a lot of stuff goes on Twitter and things like that, but it's rugby league. That's what makes the sport. I think we talked about that last week, didn't we? It's great when people come back and there's a bit of spice on things, and I'm sure he'll turn things around at Huddersfield. But it's great for Richard Marshall that he's doing well at Salford, and things are starting to come into place now. The signings for next season are looking really good. When we'll talk about bits and bobs in the news shortly, won't we? But there does seem like to be quite a bit of positivity around the club at the moment, which is good to see. I mean, like you say, all that could get eroded away if we go and get beat at Leigh on Sunday. But no, I was very pleased with the match on Friday night, and I enjoyed the night, enjoyed the atmosphere and the tension as well. I mean, it's a lot to take at times, but no, it was a really enjoyable night.
Yeah, the Joe Burgess try-saving tackle at the end as well which was magnificent. Kind of reminded me of the Niall Evalds effort in our grand final year, where he kind of sized him up and dumped him in touch. And that, without I've said that he's a Rolls Royce winger, not just going forward, but defensively as well. That was world class. That let's not beat about the bush. And the moments like that, that's what makes the world go round, and that's what makes us win.
Yeah, well, he's a class player, Joe Burgess. I know when we signed him from Wigan, I was surprised that Wigan were going to let Joe go because he's still only a relatively young man. Is he 25, 26? So he's at the peak of his career really now. And when he was playing for Wigan a couple of years ago, he was a real hot prospect, wasn't he? Probably one of the best wingers in the league up there with sort of Tommy Makinson at St Helens. So great signing for us to get. I think if we can keep him fit and in the side, I think he could be pushing for international honours again. There's not many top class wingers about who can finish like he can and who can defend like he can. So we can keep him in the side. We've got a bit of a conundrum, haven't we? Because you've got Rhys Williams there who's played really well. You've got Ken Seo to come back in as well. Where does Ken fit in there? So it's a nice headache for Richard Marshall to have, isn't it? I suppose a selection headache at the weekend. Dan Sargent as well. You've got him in the side there, and if he can partner up with Joe Burgess, we've got a bit of grunt there in the centre, haven't we? A bit of aggression and some experienced players as well. Joe Burgess played in grand finals, cup finals, played in Australia, so he's an experienced and quality operator.
Yeah, Greg Burke, Sim Bind as well towards the end, coming together with I think it was Leroy Cudjoe, I think off the top of my head. Not sure what it was for. I think it was a crucial moment, you see, because if we'd got the penalty there, we kick the goal, we win the game. But because they got the penalty, it was all answer the pump then.
Yeah. How long was left then? There wasn't very long.
It's about a minute and 40.
What's the point in sending someone with a minute and 40 to go? I'm pretty sure the referee could have just said to them both, just calm down. There's a lot on the game. There's a lot of tension there. It does seem like there's... I don't know. We speak about this every week, don't we? About the sin bins and that. Do the referees have to be a bit more lenient? I mean, I saw something the other day. It's the rivals round this week, isn't it? With Super League, and we're going to play in St Helens, and they were showing footage of I think it's a 2004 game between Wigan and Saints when Andy Farrell and Paul Sculthorpe were going hammer and tong at each other, and there's a massive punch up and God knows what. I mean, if that game was played today, you'd probably be looking at 12 red cards because they just seem to send a ref. So I think sometimes you do, as a referee, surely you have to take into account that it's not tiddlywinks, as I say. It's a very, very physical contact sport. So there's going to be stuff said. There's going to be, challenges. There's going to be headshots. Things like that are going to happen. It's the nature of the sport. So obviously the referees are getting something from somewhere where they've got to follow the rule. They've got to do as they're told, haven't they? So they can't sort of make the rules up as they go along. But perhaps somebody needs to say somewhere, let's just be a bit more sensible, especially when there's only 10 seconds or so to go or whatever left in the game. Just give them a bit of stern talking to.
Yeah, thing is though, there is just lots of push and shove, isn't it? Really, there's no one ever windmilling. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of people getting dragged around, a lot of people shout at each other, a bit of pushing, and then the referee kind of gets teamed apart and then decide who to give the penalty to. So it's not exactly World War III, is it? You know what I mean?
No.
Like you say, when you watch these YouTube clips of like in the 70s, where the 80s, where they just keep fighting until one person falls over, it's a different kettle of fish now.
No one got red carded then, though.
No.
They just got on with it, didn't they? So,
yeah, madness.
But
I think what's clever as well is, as the clock ticked down, about 20 seconds to go, don't know who it was, Salford player kind of held on, and it was a kind of like they had to restart the set, but that extra sort of 3-4 seconds that he held him down eat the time up. And Richard Marshall talks about the smarts a lot, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, that's when I've watched it back since, and I just thought to myself, that's clever, that.
Yeah, of course it is. They're the sort of things that win you games, aren't they? And, clever players will do things. You look at Jacko when Jackson Hayes was at Salford, the little things he brought to the game management, as our friend Si used to say. And that's what it's all about, though, Rob. That's how you win games. Every decent side has got those sort of players in the team, haven't they? Whether it's your general in the middle of the park who slows things down, kicks for a touch, that smart kicking game, or holding down in the tackle. Coaches will say, well, there was holding down. Every team does it. Every team holds down. They get taught to do it, don't they? That's what they do in training. They'll practice it. It's just about getting away with it. There's no team in the country that doesn't hold down. They all hold down, but you've just got to do it for the right amount of time so you get away with it. You've got to lie offside. Every team will lie offside, because that's what you've got to do. You've got to do anything you can to gain an advantage against your opposition that's going to get you the result. So that's what it is. It's smart. I mean, you can call it what you want, can't you? Call it spotting, they used to call it, didn't they, when teams were lying offside? Game smarts, game management, call it what you want. You'll do anything to get that result, won't you?
You will, Paul. And I thought it was just very clever. Can't think who it was now, but I just thought to myself, yeah, that's one of the game, that, when you look back. Also, a fantastic way for us to say goodbye to our sort of ex-skipper now, Leigh Mossop, who's retired due to injury. Fantastic for him to bring the game ball out at the beginning and both sides to clap him on. What a serve it has been. It was a great way to see him off.
Yeah, it was a nice moment. That I've seen again. Steve McCormick took some fantastic pictures. I've seen some of those on Facebook and what have you. So some great stuff there, and it was nice. It was an emotional moment. That Leigh Mossop's been a good leader for Salford. We spoke about him last week, didn't we? All the good work he's done, and as well as the good work and the good performances, the pain barrier that he's been through, because he's been through a lot of pain while he's been at Salford. He's been out with injuries, hasn't he, and battled along, and probably, as I said before, played when he shouldn't have played. Players do that sometimes, don't they? Play through that pain barrier. They have an injection in the shoulder. Malcolm Hawke used to do it all the time for Salford. Leigh Mossop said that sort of mould, isn't it? They'll run through a brick wall for you and play. So, no testament to him. I think he got a real sort of hero send-off against Huddesfield. I just hope he stays in the sport. I know he's going to stay around the squad for this season, but a guy of his knowledge and his passion and his expertise and his experience in the game, he's played in Australia as well and played at the top level over here. Surely the transition into coaching would be an ideal thing for Leigh Mossop. So I hope he sort of looks into that. He'll know what he wants to do with the rest of his career and the rest of his working life. But yeah, I hope he stays involved with the sport.
Yeah, I spoke to Richard Marshall after the game, and this is what he had to say. All right, Rick, it's Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Congratulations on a good win tonight. Must be proud of your boys' efforts.
Yeah, that's a good word. Proud. I am proud. I'm proud of the club, our skipper, the 17 who went out on the field today and played so valiantly. I thought it was a great effort, a really good team effort. Bit scrappy in parts. Field position we didn't own or earn the right to play in the right area of the field, but we just kept turning up defensively, and that goes a long way with me as head coach. I thought it was great, and yeah, I am a proud coach tonight.
Yeah, first half was a bit scratchy. You kept sort of dropping the ball, but complete. It must have been frustrating for you.
Yeah, yes, it is, and it could have cost us. It could have. It didn't tonight, but yeah, we've got to be better. We've got to be better with the ball. We've still got some improvement. I thought, we took Tui took his try really well. We opened them up well, and we were on when Christian made that break, and even towards the end in that second half, we managed to shut the game down. Very similar to how we played them last time. Yeah, but discipline again. I think we lost the penalty count by 3 or 4 penalties. So that again, but it did matter. But in the game, in the context of the game, our defence was on fire.
Yeah, crucial moment just before half time and just after half time. The 2 tries swung the momentum your way.
Yeah, it's the momentum is important within games. The players spoke about that, trying to generate some ruck speed and some momentum. Huddersfield did a really good job in limiting our field position. They managed to bend us back on play 1 and play 2, something that obviously they looked at in the week. We've got some really good outside backs, and they managed to handle us for periods, but I thought we came over the other side. Yeah, as you say, a couple of important scores, and then just a dogged defensive display for the last 20 minutes, really.
Yeah, and that Joe Burgess try saver at the end, what a moment that was.
Yeah, outstanding. What a player he is. Did a real good job. That goes a long way for me. The efforts that you do off the ball for your teammates, and I know Leigh Mossop's name would have been ringing in his ears when he managed to shut down that play.
Any injuries from tonight?
I've not had a chance to speak to Rob, our physio, quite yet. I think we got a couple of head knocks, didn't we? James Greenwood and Chris Atkin got stitched up at half time. I'm sure they'll be fine. They both passed. Yeah, no one came off with an injury tonight, which fingers crossed we're okay tomorrow.
Yeah, Leigh next week.
Yeah, big game. Big game.
Build some momentum.
Yeah, we've got some momentum leading into that game. Really pleased. I'm not going to think about Leigh. I'm just going to enjoy the performance this week. We've got a bit of a longer turnaround, which is excellent. Yeah, we'll probably have a few players back from isolation as well. So I think we'll be picking from a decent amount of players, which will be great for us. We'll have a good week this week.
Cheers, Rick. Good luck.
Thanks, gents.
So that was Richard Marshall talking himself after the game, Paul, and he said he was proud of the club and the players and the performance they put on.
Yeah, spot on. So was I. I think proud of the club and the name Salford. I think is a big thing. And the supporters as well. I think the supporters were excellent on Friday night. They never stopped singing, got behind the side, and it was a great atmosphere. It really was, and I think we've generated that over the last few seasons really at the AJ Bell Stadium. We've made that stadium ours. I mean, I say that, and we might not be there much longer, but we've made that stadium ours, haven't we? And Friday night under the lights there, I think it's pretty special there now. It's a good atmosphere, and that was when that South Stand, the energy sometimes from that, the players must be able to feed off that. I mean, when we was playing last season in front of empty stadiums, it must be difficult for players, but I think that really lifted them. I think that in the second half, they was playing towards that South Stand, weren't they? And I think the players, really rise to the occasion there. Some young players in that team, that's a Sam Lucky who's playing, who's not dead experienced at Super League level, and I thought he stepped up and was really good. We got the lone lads as well from Robson and Dan Norman from St Helens as well. I thought were excellent. I mean, they've not played with Salford a lot, but they run the blood to water in that game. There was really, really good for us.
Yeah, the crowd can carry a team, can't it? Like a team can carry a crowd at time, and both need each other at certain points. And I thought, like you said, the atmosphere was fantastic on Friday against Huddersfield, and hopefully more to come. Obviously, for this season, and obviously we'll have to see what happens in the future. But we can't fault Salford fans. They're fantastic, aren't they? All manner way. They make outrageous amounts of noises for the size of crowd we got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the crowd at Wigan was tremendous the week before. I mean, we took a really good following there, I think, to Wigan. I don't know how many was there, but they always get behind them. I think I've said it to loads of people. I mean, we've had this debate time and time again, haven't we, about our home attendance and things. I think percentage-wise, our away support is probably the best in the league compared to our home crowds. It's tremendous. I mean, Leeds Rhinos might get 15,000 at home. They don't take 5,000 away from home, do they? But ours is great. You see the same faces every week. They turn up, they get behind the side, and it's a way of life for some people, isn't it? We've said that before. It's what they do. They want to be there and behind that side, don't they? Come rain or shine. So no, I think it's very special that, and I'm just glad that the crowds are back now, because I think we've all missed each other, haven't we, at the games, and that it's good to be back.
Yeah, I read somewhere we take, is it a third of our home fans away, which is fantastic, really.
Yeah.
And hopefully the bigger the home crowd, hopefully more will want to go away from home. And I suppose it's something to think about, and hopefully even with a bigger away spot make even more noise. Richard was full of praise, obviously, with the 2 tries with Williams and Tui's just scoring just after and before half time. He talked about Joe Burgess and heaped praise on him on his try saving tackle. And he talked about Leigh Mossop doing it for him. The players, want him to send him off great. So yeah, he was quite happy with the performance, and obviously started off a good week for him.
Yeah, he certainly did. And no, I was pleased for Richard Marshall. It was a good result. It was nice to see him on the pitch at the end of the game, celebrating and getting the adulation of the supporters as well. Because we've said that before. He's not really had that, has he, at his time at Salford, playing behind closed doors. So it's great now that that things are looking up. And I was looking at the fixtures the other day. We've got quite a few home games left, haven't we? So we can build a bit of momentum now. I mean, we've still got some tough fixtures to play, but there's some very winnable ones there now coming up. We've got, I think, play Catalans and Hull at home soon, don't we? I mean, they're going to be tough, but the games that we can target and we can win. We've got Leigh coming up as well. We've got the Magic weekend to look forward to. That's going to be a really good day out as well in Newcastle. So yeah, some exciting times coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and I suppose when you talk about momentum, being at home is an advantage in it. If you can string a few home games together and win them, and then nick the odd one away, that's how you get in your playoff positions, and that's how we've managed to do it in the past when we have managed to get in the playoffs. So it might be a blueprint for Summit to come. Looking at the stats, Paul, top tacklers: Sam Luckley 29, Andy Ackers 43, Danny Addy 28, Josh Johnson 36, and Harvey Livett 33. Josh Johnson, impressive, 36 tackles, works his sort of blood to water for me, plays well above his weight, and I thought it was impressive on Friday.
I thought you were going to say something else then when he said works his what's it off. No, I thought he was great, Josh Johnson. So I talked to my dad about that the other day, because he more or less came in for Leigh Mossop, didn't he? He took his position at prop forward, and it's a big boots to fill that. And I thought he really run hard, and he's not the biggest player in the world, but he's one of those. He's all action. He works his socks off, tackled really well, and ran the ball and did everything they asked of him. Played big minutes as well. Sam Luckley, I thought, came of age against Huddesfield. He impresses me every time I see him now. We've just got to be a bit smarter with Sam, because he can offload the ball. He really can. So, I mean, we've got to get players there to support him. Andy Ackers has got to follow him, because he'll get a pass out to you, Sam Luckley, and his defence is improving as well. His contact's good. He's got fitter as the season's gone. I'm not saying he was unfit at the start of the season, but it takes time. He's come up from sort of 2 divisions below, so that Super League fitness and that power of taking the hits off the bigger players, I think, took a bit of time for him. But if he can keep progressing with Salford this time next year, he could be one of the best forwards in the league. There's no doubt about that. We've seen lads come up from the Championship before. You look at like Alex Walmsley and people like that, and if you persevere with him and go the right way with him, you can make a really top forward. So I think he's got the potential. Jack Ormonroyd as well, I think, is another guy who's probably one of our best forwards now. He was tremendous again at the weekend. He's running the ball in full pelt. He's working really hard. He's another one doing big minutes. I thought James Greenwood, another player, he's been unlucky and struggled with injuries, but he's come back in and done really well. The 2 lone lads, as I said before, did well. Andy Ackers got man of the match, I think. Andy Ackers didn't he? And I thought Jack Ormonroyd was my man of the match, to be honest. But I think there's a toss-up. There's a few lads you could have given it to. I think it was a really sort of top performance from the forwards.
Yeah, Andy Ackers plays a full 80 as well.
Yeah.
43 tackles, works hard. And I think as well, when you think about it, if he's making 43 tackles and able to kick the ball to Ormonroyd to score, shows he's got plenty of juice in his tank to create as well as absorb.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, he's a fit lad. There's no doubt about that. Anybody who can play 80 minutes of Super League these days, you've got to be fit, haven't you? And especially when you're doing that amount of tackling and running as well. So, and he's a clever player. That was a measured kick that for Jack Ormerod. It was absolutely spot on, measured for him as well. He's a big lad, Jack Ormerod. He's 6'5", something like that, and he reached out there and took that chance really, really well. So, yeah, it was it was great to see that.
Yeah, looking at the meter makers, Christian Anu 102, Joe Burgess 107, Danny Addy 77, Josh Johnson 88, Harvey Levette 95, and Reece Williams 190. But I suppose 90 of that was his first try.
Done. Yeah. But no, I thought Reece Williams was very, very steady, and he showed a lot of pace to score that try. I mean, when he got that ball there, I think it was Will Price who was chasing him, and he's very, very quick, very quick. But he seemed to find an extra gear. It looked like he was catching up to him, Will Price, and Williams just seemed to put his foot down and just glide away from him. And he's very, very quick. That Price for Huddersfield, though, was a prospect.
Good player.
He's a special player. Yeah, I enjoyed seeing. He's not the finished article yet, but you can see he's going to be something. I mean, some of the stuff he tried on Friday night against us didn't quite come off for him, but he's going to get better and better as things go on. And that's great to see. It's good to see homegrown players coming through at all the clubs. I mean, that's what we've got to be, haven't we? If we're ever going to beat Australia, it means produce players, and it's good to see that clubs are doing.
Yeah, big thanks for your 3-word match reports, man of the matches. Phil Dunning, come on you Reds, Ormonroyd. Colin Reynolds, that's for Moose, Luckley. Colin Wilson, great gutsy win, Ormonroyd. Carol Renshaw, get in, Luckley. Your mate Roy Olaby, better second half, Luckley. Paul, heart racing performance. CNR, thank you, Moose. Inu. Gary Williams, defence stood up, Inu. John Waite, defence and patience. Johnson. I think he's got a point there, John, that we were patient going obviously 8-0 down, could have panicked, but we just found our way back in, and that's a good skill to have.
Yeah, sometimes you've not got to panic, have you? I mean, I'd have been panicking if they'd have scored there before we got that interception. And like I said, it'd have been 14-0. So sometimes you take your chances, don't you? I mean, yeah, Watson said that, didn't he? If they scored there, it's game over. And you're right, but sometimes in matches that doesn't happen. You get that bit of luck, don't you? And you have to ride it and go with it. So you've got to stay in the arm wrestle, as they say. And take your chances. And I thought we did take our chances when they came. You know, that interception, the try for Tui, the kick through. I wouldn't say we created loads of chances, but we were steady. I thought we were steady. We hung in there. We didn't collapse. We conceded one try in 80 minutes, which is really good. I thought the week before when we played Wigan, our attack wasn't so good. We didn't create a lot of chances, but we defended well. So that defence now is starting to be a bit more consistent. I think we've seen a bit more consistent play for the defence. Looks a lot solid, a lot tighter now. I think Christian Inu coming back into the side as well shores things up. I've said that before about Christian. I think he's a really good talk. He's a really good presence on the field. He's a dead calming influence. I think he's a. How did I describe him the other day? I was talking to my kids about the players and just asking me how Salford had gone. And I was saying Christian Inu, he's a bit like, you might laugh at me, he's a bit like Aladdin. He's like the genie in the lamp. He just comes out, he's like a big puff of smoke, and he's there, and he does that little bit of magic, and then sort of goes away again. But his presence, he's always there. He's always calming influence on the team, and I think you need that. I think he's a big player for us, and it's good to see him back in the side. I don't know whether he's under contract for next season, but I think I'd like to see him stay because I think his goal kicking's is good as well, isn't it? And just a good player to have around, I think.
Chris Sloan, great second half. Williams, Duncan O'Duncan, great team effort. Stuart Shields, workmanlike. Sam Luckley, Michael Redfern, well-earned victory. Richard Marshall, Trev, stuck at it, Inu. Les Canine, defended the line, Inu. Mike Woodbridge, South Stand bouncing, Ackers. Nicholas Fletcher, don't kick it, yes. That was when he said shouting at Andy Ackers. Richard Martin, score please. Watto, Ormonroyd. OSF, ground out win. Levette, Malcolm Bleed, defence outstanding tonight. Chris Whitaker, unlucky. Mr. Watson. Natalie Taylor, smells like team spirit. That's 4. Natalie, sorry. Man of the match was Armonroyd. David Snape, great defence. Man of the match, Armonroyd. Tom Frame, absolutely loved it. Inu. Matt Carr Ackers, great defence, boys. And finally, Andrew Gutsy, professional and pride. And his man of the match was Williams. So, yeah, fans happy, smiles back on faces, and happy days. And we'll roll on to next week.
Yeah, we're all on to next week. As I said, it can all change in a week, can't it? Things can happen, but no, we've got to be positive. Got to be positive going to Leigh. I mean, we've got some players coming back hopefully this week, haven't we? COVID protocols and things like that. Richard Marshall, hopefully, will have probably one of the strongest squads he's had to pick from for quite a while, if not all season. So I know that's going to give him headaches, but I think I'd rather have a headache of too many players to pick from than not enough. So, I think what we've not got to be this week is complacent. Leigh have lost 16 games out of 16, but as I've been writing the preview tonight, some of the home games, they've been pretty good. They were unlucky not to beat Ulkayat. They should have beat Catalan. They played Wigan at home twice and they've been unlucky in both of them and could have won both those games. So they've not been far short. They've tended, and I don't know why, but they've tended to fade away sort of in the last 15, 20 minutes of a lot of matches. And I don't know why that is. I've not watched Leigh this season much, but they've still got some clever players. They can score points. They've proved that. And as I said, that Hull KR game, they ran them really close. And Hull KR are a real informed side. I watched their game at weekend on catch up against Wigan. I thought they were excellent. So they've got players to do the damage. We've just got to make sure we do our things right. And then I think if we get our game right, we won't need to worry about them.
Yeah. So that's our look back at the Huddersfield win, and we'll look at all the big news. So we'll start, Paul, with tickets for the Catalan Dragons on Thursday, 26th of August, available at the club. If obviously you're not a season ticket holder, get down there. Extra tickets means extra revenue for the club, and obviously if you want to invite friends and stuff, ideal opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and it should be a good game as well. Catalan Dragons currently league leaders, aren't they? Doing really well this season. I put some money on them a bit back to win the grand final. I think we got them at 10-2 or something like that. So I fancy him to get to Old Trafford. I think they're playing pretty well, aren't they? This week's game's been postponed against Warrington, hasn't it? I think some of the coaching staff tested positive, so they'll have missed a game out there. So will that give them a bit of a break? I'm not too sure, but they've played some good stuff this season. It's good to see they've got some good French players in the side as well, some good young French players. They're always an exciting team to watch as well. So that should be a good game, good Thursday night game. That's to get yourself down.
2-all here. Andy Ackers selected in team of the week. Paul, good. Obviously, 2 good players for us, and it's great that we have representation in that kind of thing. Puts our profile up there. Yeah,
of course, I'd have had Jack Ormonroyd in there as well. I thought he was great. But yeah, 2-all here played really well. That try he scored there. He seemed to have a bit of a swagger about him on Friday night, didn't he? Like he had a bit of a point to prove. Whether he's been disappointed in his performances recently, I'm not too sure. But he seemed to take his advantage and take his try with both hands there, didn't it? It was a good finish that, and played well throughout the game. He was elusive, he was dangerous, and Andy Ackers, we mentioned before, he played big minutes again. Attacking defence, really, really good. So he's improving as well, isn't he, Andy? Because he's still relatively young player and still got bits to learn and get better. But he's a quality hooker, and if he keeps progressing and going that way, we've got a top player there, Andy.
Yeah, our under-16s won 6 games on the spin against the Huddersfield Giants and the Bradford Bulls under-16s. Great that obviously our youth development, people are seeing signs of it. Obviously under-16s, they're still kids, but they've got a good promise.
They're still kids, but you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? I know the powers that be in Rugby League didn't want us to have that sort of academy for one reason or another, and there was a big discussion about that, wasn't there? But I think it's right that Salford do something with the scholarship and things like that, and it's just showing our willing that we're willing to give youngsters a chance and help them play Rugby League in the city. And that's great to see, and it's great to they're winning games as well and gaining experience. So, like I said, they're a long way from being the finished article and playing, top flight Rugby League. But the 16s are doing really well and keeping that sort of pathway there. So hopefully in 12 months, 18 months time, we can start developing and getting an under 18s in, getting a reserve team in and an academy as well. So you've got to have something. You've got to have something to start from. You can't build a house from the top. You've got to build it from the bottom.
Yeah, and I'll give him a quick name check while we got him. Adam Tierney, Benjamin Wilkinson, Callum Doyle, Charlie Royal, Elliot Dugan, Harrison Griffin, Harry Brinth, Jack Lees, Jake Fallon, James Bradshaw, Joshua Hart, Lyndon Taylor, Marcus Evans, Ned Fenton Brown, Niall Taylor, Noah Farr, Oliver Burgess, Temi Eboda, Thomas Thompson, and Tom Fallon. They're in the black team, Paul. So, make a note of them names because there could be a star amongst them.
Yeah, I've noticed the names these days. Never any Pauls anymore, is there? No one ever calls the kid Paul anymore, do they?
As a shout out to our listeners, that Paul wants name checking.
It's an old-fashioned name now. No, you're right. They're good to name check all the lads there, and good to see them doing some good work. They're enjoying the rugby league as well, aren't they? And getting out there and representing the club, representing the city as well. So and I'm all for that. I love my amateur stuff and my grassroots rugby league. So fair play to them and well done.
Yeah, red team: Alex McVeigh, Brogan Turner, Callum Palmer, Creft, Francis Roberts, Charlie Glover, Ellis Kelly, Emma Jones, Finn Winterbottom, George Channock, Henry Moran, Isaac Reed, Jack Craig, Joe Mountcastle, Josh Pemberton, Luke, is it Millarkey, Jack, Max Jones, Mikey Gilligan, Roman Shrinks, Taylor Hartley, and Tom Hussey. So there could be a star amongst them. Just thought I'd read them all out. So we've got them on tape. So when they do come through in about 5 years' time, we gave them a name check.
I thought he did very well there with them names as well. Robbie absolutely nailed that then. Tremendous work. Yeah. No, it's good to see him, as I said, and let's hope in sort of 5 years' time we've got that. Look at Niall Evans playing the other week in the Challenge Cup final, winning the Lance Todd Trophy. I mean, I know he's playing for Castleford now, but I still look at him and think, God, that's Niall who was at Salford. I used to see his dad a lot and speak to his dad in the crowd, and lovely family, lovely guy, and what a good feeling that makes you thinking, he came through our system. All right, it would have been great if he was playing for Salford in a Challenge Cup final, but that's sort of the next best thing for me. So let's hope we can see a few more. We had Mark Sneed a few years ago winning it as well. We had Theo Farge playing really well at the top of his game. So we produced some super players, haven't we, over the years at Salford, and let's hope that we can do that again, because I think there's nothing better than as a supporter seeing a kid that's come through your academy doing really well at top flight and thinking, blimey, he's come through our system. He's part of our sort of fabric of our club, and I think it means a lot more. I think it means a lot more to the player as well. So yeah, great to see.
Yeah, Matt Costello banned for one game as well, missed the league game.
What for?
Competition for places, opportunity for someone who isn't in the team to get in.
Yeah, what did he get banned for?
Was it high tackle or dangerous contact or something?
I didn't see it.
I
didn't see it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sometimes you miss stuff, don't you? If it was early doors in the game, I might have missed that. So, yeah.
Rival round this week, Paul. Biggest derby in rugby league. What do you think? Who's the biggest derby in rugby league?
Salford against Swinton.
Obviously. Second biggest derby.
I think it depends where you're from. Everyone will say whatever town they're from, the team that's nearest to them. If you're a Wigan and Saints, it's Wigan Saints, and if you live in that neck of the woods, I think Warrington Widnes is a big one. They all say Hull and Ulster. No one outside of Hull and Ulster gives a toss about Hull and Ulster. So I suppose it's where you are, doesn't it? I think Hull and Ulster is a passionate derby, and you've got Bradford and Leeds. I think Barrow and Working. Look at some of them up in Cumbria. I think there's some tremendous games up there. So I don't think there's a biggest. I think it just depends where you live.
Yeah, I've been at Wigan and Saints, and I didn't see what all the big fuss was about. It wasn't really, the atmosphere wasn't there. It wasn't like an intense atmosphere for me. I always fancy going to Hull and Hulkeyar, but it's like 3 hours away, so it's not. I don't fancy it that much. Warrington and Widnes is the one for me. Been to Warrington Widnes at Widnes, and that was a proper ding dong game on and off the field. So yeah, I'd have to put that as one of the biggest in the sport. Leeds and Bradford's always quite a big Yorkshire thing as well, but obviously Bradford not being in the Super League, it kiboshes that. And Wakefield and Cass, another sort of Yorkshire hold down there. So yeah, we have array of them really. Us and Leigh, Swinton is our traditional derby, but I think the games against Leigh are always passionate affairs, and always have moments in them that make you remember. And I think it's great. Obviously, Leigh back in the Super League now, give us that derby game to get excited about.
Yeah, we've had some good clashes with Leigh, haven't we? If you go back to the 2003 season, we had 7 games against them that season, didn't we? 6 wins and a draw, so that was a decent season. Yeah, like you said there about some of those Widnes and Warrington's a big derby, isn't it? And I can remember years ago when we first got Sky Sports at our house, and Leeds played Bradford. I think it was a Sunday tea time game at Huddesfield.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there watching with my dad, and I think there was about 26,000 there. Sunday tea time game, and it was fantastic. When Barry McDermott was playing and people like that. So that derby was huge. What the crowds used to get there at Huddesfield. So yeah, tremendous. I mean, I've always enjoyed watching Wigan and Saints. Good Friday when they used to play, and I don't know. Saints are strange to me. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. I saw their crowd last week. They played Cass. They got like 7,000, didn't they, against Cass? When I thought you've just been to Wembley, so I don't know what's going on there with them. So whether they'll get, I presume they'll get a big gate this weekend against Wigan. I think it's at the DW, that one. So I presume there'll be a big crowd for that. But yeah, the whole derby is a big one, isn't it? That really is a big one. I think one we've missed off, Batley against Dewsbury, the heavy woolen derby. That's the big one up that neck of the woods. If you're up there, I'm trying to wrap my brains for a couple of others. Sheffield
Oldham Rochdale, is that one?
Yeah, that's a big one. They play for the Law Cup there, don't they? Between though, that is a bit. I mean, I lived in Rochdale for a long time, and there's quite a rivalry with Oldham, whether it be football, rugby league. I used to play a bit of pool back in the day, and the Rochdale Snooker League, and that lads used to come over from Oldham, and you used to get a bit of beef from people from Oldham, and they come to nights out in Rochdale, and I used to go drinking up there, and they'll let you know they're from Oldham anyway. It's a totally different place, and I sort of live on the outskirts of Oldham now, where I'm living. So yeah, there's derbies everywhere, but yeah, the Salford and Leigh ones. I think Salford's had a bit of a rivalry with Warrington, haven't we, over the last few years as well? That's been one that's blossomed a bit. So I think you can't beat a good sort of derby game, rivalry game, can you? Local sort of game. I think it's magic, especially Easter time as well, when they used to have the Good Friday and Easter Monday games. Yeah,
it gets the atmosphere going, and everyone's up for it. And yeah, that's what rugby league is. Obviously, you talk about family sport, but you need that edge, don't you? I think that sort of derby days do that.
Yeah, well, that's that edge what I was talking about. That we got that edge, didn't we, on Friday night with the old Watson thing and all that. And it's great that, I think, in rugby. I think Matt Newsom was asking the question in the press conference. He said, "Oh, what did you think about the reception you got?" And I know Watto sort of said, "I'm not bothered," and which was quite funny the way he said it. But yeah, I'm not bothered. But I didn't think he really got a reception. I thought Salford supporters. I don't think there's any malice with Salford supporters. It's like when players come back that have left, I think they always get a decent reception, don't they? And some of them might argue with you and say no, they don't. They have a go at us, don't they? There's certain players that come back and do get a bit of bagging off, but I didn't think Ian Watson got bagged off on Friday night, really, apart from at the end when they were selling what the score was. But I think that's a bit of friendly sort of banter, but it does add to it. I think stuff like that makes sport what it is, doesn't it? Those rivalries and those that bit of edge and that, it adds to the excitement of the occasion.
Yeah, other news, we've signed Amir Burra, 20-year-old on a 2-year contract from Wigan. He looks good, Paul. He could be someone for the future there. Yeah,
well, definitely we've got Andy Ackers there, haven't we? Don't forget we've got Conor Aspie as well, so got another youngster there to come in and challenge as well. That's what it's all about. We want young players in the side, don't we? Challenging and putting pressure on, because we're not sort of stacked in the hooking department, are we? I mean, I know we've got Chris Atkin who can play there, but I much prefer Chris at the halfback. So yeah, another player coming into the squad, a young, hungry player as well. That's good to see. I don't know a lot. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about this young lad, but I've heard some good things about him, and he's come through the systems there at Wigan and played for them. He's bound to have a lot of good habits and be a good player.
Yeah, been on loan at Halifax and earned his spurs there. Played a couple of times for Wigan, and yeah, he looks like he could be a player, Paul. So yeah, we'll see what. Obviously, I spoke to Rich Marshall. You'll be able to listen to that on the other podcast, and he was proper chipper. He was looking forward to working with him and seeing what he can do with him. Other news, Paul, Magic Weekend shirt has come out. It's grey. It's got the map of Salford on it. It looks cool. Let's be fair. It looks very, very cool for a Magic Weekend shirt.
I thought it looked a bit like a Toronto shirt when I saw it before. And someone said, "Oh, it's in black and white." I thought, "Oh, is the picture in black and white, or should it be colour, or what?" But no, it looks good. It's I think that the map of Salford is good. It's a good concept, and that's what Magic shirts are all about, aren't they? Something different, aren't they? So yeah, I'm sure it'll sell a few. And I've seen that T-shirt as well. It's got all the supporters' names on and things like that. It looks really smart. And that's, I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder regarding the kit people, but no, it looks good.
Yeah, VX3 they're called, 2-year deal to be our kit supplier, and yeah, if we go off the first two shirts, Paul, that they're going off like a gun. Two great shirts in 2 goals.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just watching doggies diving about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Helen's just got a biscuit and he's after a biscuit. But no, I think they look good. I think the T-shirt looks great, and I believe it's a good sponsorship we've got with this company as well, isn't it? It's a good deal that the club's got, and no, that's really good. I'm excited now. I mean, you get excited every year when a new shirt comes out, don't you? And looking forward to seeing what they have in store for us now. So it should be good.
And I think a good touch as well on the other shirt is they've got the names of all the season ticket holders on it.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. I think it's a lead person, not every season ticket holder, if you have a group of season ticket holders. But I think it's great. Obviously, doing things like that gives you that connection, doesn't it, from club to supporter. So I think that's a really good idea. That.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That it really is. I'm going to look out for that and see if I can see my name on it. So I don't know whether it be mine or my dad's. I can't remember whose name I put them in now. But no, I think it's a really good idea. I think it rewards people, doesn't it? Not that I'm saying seeing ticket holders are the be all and end all. Obviously, not everybody can afford one, but no, it's good to reward people and that, and it gives a good feel to the club, doesn't it? So no, it's great.
If your name's not 6 inches high on the back of that shirt, Paul, there will be questions asked. It has to be said. But I think also pretty good the fact that they're talking about women's sizes and kids' sizes, for future gear. So which is good because obviously, my wife always talks about not having women's size, and it's a potential market which the club could tap into. So you're hoping that they can exploit that and generate a bit more juice for the club.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not sort of 1980 odd anymore. I mean, when we first started going watching rugby league, you could count on one hand the amount of women that used to go to the match. It was just dads and lads and groups of blokes, and that was when I started going anyway. But now it's not. There's an awful lot of women that go, and you've got to cater for them. You look how many ladies and women watch Salford. I say ladies and women the same thing, but just trying to be politically correct. But you know what I mean, don't you? And I think there's lots, isn't there? You see the pictures Steve texts every week. There's loads of females that go watching the sport. So why not cater for them? They've got as much right as us. So yeah, I think get the sizes right, and they're more chance of buying one, because it must be difficult if you don't men's. I'm not an expert on clothes and that, but I wouldn't know. Say I went to somewhere now, not that I'm a cross-dress or anything, but say I went somewhere now to buy something in a lady's size for me or my wife or whatever, I wouldn't know what to look at. Whereas a bloke's, it's large, extra large, or medium, innit, or whatever. But with a lady, it's all different numbers and things like that. So I wouldn't know where to start. You've dug me in a bit of an hole where I'm going.
Thinking you're about a 14.
What would you say? So right. Okay.
Well, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Paul. Obviously, the club have a market they need to exploit, and hopefully they'll be able to bring some sort of good gear to the table, and everyone will purchase it. And obviously it helps as well, because obviously you'll be going to the pub in it, you'll go into the club in it, you go into your mate's house in it. You're kind of like a bit of a walking billboard, aren't you? People notice
Yeah.
it, and then that conversation starts. Oh, so for the playing, oh yeah, and then you can reel them in. That's
Yeah.
basically the plan. So yeah, looking forward to see what BX3 can supply for us to wear. We've got supporters trust news as well, Paul. You got your bit of supporters trust news there?
Yep. Sorry, mate. I'll just get it back up on my phone because I was just reading about it before. I did know about this, but
I'll go first then while you sort yourself
you go
out.
first, mate. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. They're having a Q&A on the 1st September at Wharton Legion. They've got Leigh Mossop, Kevin Brown, and Connor Aspey down for Q&A. It's free entrance down there. COVID permitting, the 3 players can turn up. And I think it's great. We've been to a couple, haven't we, Paul? And it's great that the players can come down and fans can ask questions, and it's a nice evening.
Yeah, it is, and we've not been able to do stuff like that for a while, have we, with regulations and things like that. People not been able to meet up, and I know Sports Trust have been doing bits and bobs over Skype and things like that, and Zoom meetings or whatever they call them. So, no, it's nice for people to get together, isn't it? And I think the dues that we've been to with Sports Trust, we've enjoyed them, haven't we? Those question and answer things. Remember the one with Jackson? We went to one with Jackson Hastings, and that was a good one. And we've had Mark Leigh there a couple of times, haven't we? And some of the other old players as well. Joey Lussick, yeah.
Jackson Hastings.
Yeah.
Rob Louis and Jackson Hastings.
Yeah, that was another good one. Yeah. Martin Gleeson was on one of them, wasn't he, with Ian Watson and that a couple of seasons ago. So,
yeah.
No, they're always good. Paul King always seems to come along, doesn't he, and have a chat. I spoke to Paul King after the game on Friday. I mean, can't speak highly. I just went to see Shirley, actually. I won something in an auction.
Did you? What'd you win?
By accident.
How'd you win an auction by accident?
Picture of Carl Harrison and a baseball hat signed. I put a bid in because I just wanted other people to bid, and then I ended up being the only person who bid for it. So it's a nice bit of memorabilia. It's from 2003 with a Riva Trains Cup and the trophies and whatever. But I just went to see Shirley, and I ended up having a chat with Paul, and top guy. He's a really nice guy, and you just get a chat, and you wouldn't think he was like the sort of chairman of the club. He'd just come talking to you and ask you how you're doing, and just have a good old chinwag, don't you, about rugby and that. So yeah, cool. But yeah, I've got another picture to hang up somewhere now in my house.
Actually, you had visions of you pointing to stuff and not realizing you were in the auction. That'd have been better.
Scratching me head.
Yeah, nodding. But yeah, it's great. Obviously, Supporters Trust doing fantastic things with auctions, shirts, memorabilia, helping generate funds. Is it for the under 16s, Paul? Is that what they're doing it for? And Leigh Mossop, is it?
Yep, I think so. Yeah, that's it. That's the way things have been going at the moment. I've got some news for you as well. Do you want me to read out the bit I've got about the? There's another thing coming up as well. This sounds really good. I know you said you were getting tickets. It's the Salford Red Devils Supporters Trust and Salford Red Devils Future Pathway and Leigh Mossop's Testimonial, who present Motown and Soul Night back again following previous success in February 2020. So it was before the lockdown. They had this night, sponsored by and held at the Bluebell, which is in Monton, 41 Monton Road, Manchester. Monton, M389LL. It's Saturday the 18th of September 2021. It's a 7 p.m. start. Entrance is by ticket only. It's £15. Foods included, raffles, games, and a DJ. For further information and ticket sales, contact Salford RLFC Supporters Trust Secretary at gmail.com, or you can contact, God, it's writing small, steve.bradshaw75@gmail.com, or you can contact Shirley Bradshaw49 at gmail.com, or Bluebell at jwlees.co.uk. There's some phone numbers on here as well, but I tell you what I'll do, because the writing's that small. We'll just put them on the WhatsApp.
You're not passing your eye test, are you, at Specsavers? Let's get this right.
Just contact the supporters trust, can't if you want tickets, or Shirley or Steve Bradshaw. I'm pretty sure someone will sort out the phone number. But it's a nice pub, that, the Bluebell. I've been there a couple of times. It's nice food. JW Lees as well, breweries.
Yeah.
Less than half a mile from my house. Good beer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I fancy going to that myself.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be going down. I think me and the wife want to go. Love a bit of Motown, so be getting out the old crocodile shoes and having a bop if we can. Obviously, at the time.
Sounds good to me.
So that's all the big news. of the week. And now what we'll do, look at what's happening in the amateur scene with Paul Whiteside's amateur report.
Right, well, here is this week's Devil in the Detail amateur report and also the Life Outside Super League as well. We'll get to that afterwards. We'll start off with the amateur stuff this week. We've got some results from Saturday just gone. League C of the National Conference League. Clockface Miners 36, Waterhead Warriors 6. Rochdale Mayfield had a good win. They won away from home at Oldham St Anne's by 48 points to 28. Saddleworth Rangers, though, were beaten 32 points to 18 at home to Crossfields. The fixtures for this Saturday, the 21st of August in League C. Crossfields play Oldham St Anne's. Woolston Rovers are at home to Waterhead Warriors. And there's one fixture in the Cross League that is between Rochdale Mayfield of League C, who are playing Pilkington Rex B of League B. Moving on to the North West Men's League, it's not as many results and fixtures as we'd like to report about. Again, quite a lot of no results, but I'll give you the results and fixtures that we do have. Division 1, Saturday the 14th of August, Latchford Albion 60, Bury Broncos 6. In Division 2, Pilkington Rex A 26, West Orton Lions 27. What a fantastic game that sound. In Division 4, Langwith Reds 14, Higginshaw 50. And Division 5 South and East, it was Bolton Mets 18, Ashton Bears A 44, and Salford City Roosters versus Ince Bridge was postponed. The other fixture was Waterhead Warriors A 28, Runcorn 26. The fixtures for Saturday, the 21st of August, Division 1, Haydock play Bury Broncos. Division 2, Bold Miners against Cadishead Rhinos. Hindpool Tigers play Folly Lane. West Horton Lions are at home to Leigh Minor Rangers A. In Division 3, Salford City Roosters entertain Wigan Bulldogs. Division 4, Blackpool Scorpions play Higginshaw. Goulburn Parkside play Langwith Reds. Division 5 North and West, it's Higginshaw A against Garswood Stags A. Division 5 South and East, it's Runcorn against Salford City Roosters A. And Bolton Mets play Ince Bridge A. And finally Waterhead Warriors A play the Burton Wood Chargers. Well, now to Life Outside Super League. It was another big week in the Championship and League One. It was Betfred Championship round 17 at the weekend just gone. Here are the results. Dewsbury Rams beat Widnes 23 points to 22. Featherstone Rovers, they keep going. They beat York City Knights 44-14. Newcastle Thunder 12, Bradford Bulls 36. Sheffield Eagles 25, Oldham 18. Swinton Lions 6, Batley Bulldogs 38. And Whitehaven Warriors continue their good form. They beat London Broncos by 32 points to 18. There was a cancellation game that was between Toulouse Olympic and Halifax Panthers. I can only think that's due to the COVID situation. In Betfred League 1, round 14, Hunslet 38, London Scholars 10, Keighley Cougars 46, Coventry Bears 18. North Wales Crusaders, they continue their rise up the table. They're now third in the table behind Barrow. They beat Barrow Raiders by 38 points to 10. So Barrow Raiders hitting a bit of a rough form at the moment. Workington Town, they won away from home against West Wales Raiders by 22 points to 36. West Wales bottom of the table, just one draw the other week, so that was a cracking result for, well, not a cracking result, they didn't win, but West Wales Raiders playing top of the table. Workington have now gone top, and to hold them to 36-22 is a really good effort. Rochdale Hornets beat Doncaster 44 points to 8. So that leagues the table in Betfred League 1. Workington are top with 9 wins from 11 matches. Barrow second with 10 wins from 13 matches. North Wales Crusaders have got 8 wins from 13, so it's looking pretty good there. Workington and Barrow, that's going to be a cracking match when those two sides meet. But Workington against North Wales Crusaders is this week's match. We'll tell you about the fixtures shortly, but let's just go through the fixtures in the Championship for this week. The matches are all going to be played on Sunday. It's Batley Bulldogs against Sheffield Eagles. They're all 3 o'clock these. Bradford Bulls play Swinton Lions. Featherstone are at home to Dewsbury Rams. Newcastle Thunder play London Broncos. Oldham against Toulouse Olympic. Widnes play Halifax. And York City Knights play Whitehaven. In Betfred League 1, Coventry Bears play West Wales Raiders. Doncaster at home to Barrow. Rochdale Hornets against Hunslet. And as I said, Workington Town play North Wales Crusaders. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff. That's a cracking matching contest there between those two. North Wales Crusaders on a real good run of form at the moment. So Workington Town as well. It's great to see the Cumbrian sides doing well. Workington and Barrow fighting out the top of the league. Their game got postponed a couple of weeks ago, so you're expecting a big crowd when those two meet again. There is one other game that's going to be played on Saturday afternoon. That's a League 1 fixture, and that's between London Scholars and the Keighley Cougars. So the Betfred Championship table at the moment, the top 5 in that division. Toulouse Olympic are top, Featherstone Rovers second, third is Halifax, Bradford fourth, Batley fifth, and London Broncos are sixth. They make up the playoff places. Oldham and Swinton are currently occupying the relegation places at the bottom of the league. They're a bit adrift of Dewsbury Rams with third bottom. That's all I've got for you this week. Enjoy your rugby league. I shall hopefully see you on Sunday for Salford's fixture against Leigh Centurions at the Leigh Sports Village.
So that was Paul Whiteside's amateur resort, and now we're going to look forward to the league game on Sunday.
It's time for the Devil in the Details
So, Salford Red Devils travel to Leigh. Big derby contest. Paul, looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like I was saying before, Leigh have had some good games, some good contests at home this season, haven't they? And you know, they've lost 16 out of 16, but they're still tough to beat, aren't they, at home? And they're gonna, you know, the game at the AJ Bell this season. I know we ran away with it in the second half, didn't we? But Leigh pushed us in that first half. It was a bit of a dismal contest, wasn't it, the first half? But they play some good rugby. They've got some threats and some decent players there. So I'm looking forward to it. And we've never won at that stadium either in a competitive fixture. I think we lost 5 out of 5 there. So we had a good record at Hilton Park, but since they've moved to Leigh Sports Village, we've struggled. So looking forward to a good display.
Yeah, Kurt Haggerty, the manager, after John Duffy was ejected earlier in the season, he's had a tough job on his hands really with everything going on. With Leigh not getting as much money as everyone else at the beginning, and you know, limited time to get prepared. I suppose the 16 defeats in a row kind of sort of highlights that, but they have been close in a lot of games, Paul, haven't they, through the season? And you know, it's a bit of a worry that, you know, because of our record, we haven't won there since 2008. So there is that kind of like thing in the back of your head where you're thinking, oh, this could be the moment. But it's a good opportunity for us to get the monkey off our back, and a win against Leigh gives us momentum, which is the important thing.
Yeah, I think that momentum's the big thing now that we need. It's going to be difficult. I think it'd be a difficult sort of atmosphere there. They're going to be targeting all their own games now, aren't they? And the longer that they go on for a win, the more desperate they're going to become. And you know, over the years, we've tended to be the fall guys in these sort of games, where sides been looking for a win and we've gone there and been turned over. So I think we've got to be professional. I don't think we can overlook Leigh at all, because if you do, I think you'll get burnt against them. I don't think they're as bad as 16 defeats. I think there's been games where they've been a bit unlucky. I don't know what it is. Like I said before, I've seen a few of the games and they seem to have tired. I've listened to a few of the games on the radio as well, and they seem to have tired in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes and not been quite up to speed. So I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Are they good enough for Super League? I think they're 1 or 2 players short. I think they are 1 or 2 players short. I think the squad's a bit thin with quality, and I think that's where they are struggling a bit. I think they've been a bit unlucky with injuries, particularly on the half-backs and what have you. But I still think they've got threats, and I still think that it's going to be a difficult game. I don't see there being a lot of points in this one. I can see there being points, but not a lot in the margins, you know, if you like. So I think if I was Richard Marshall, I'd just be focusing on this week, just being professional, going there and doing a professional job, keeping that watertight defence. If we can keep that defence out, I think we can score points against Leigh. I think defence will be the key for us. Yeah,
stay in the arm wrestle, keep the grind on, and Leigh will go first. That's basically what I think. I haven't got the stats on me, Paul, but you keep saying obviously Leigh have dropped away in the last 15 minutes of matches. We've actually got stronger in the last 15 minutes. I think we've scored the majority of our points in the last 10, 15 minutes this season, which is something. I've not got the stats on me, but I know that. Which is good. Lots of other stats. They're top of the offloaders, towards the top, 169 offloads this season, but they have missed 607 tackles, which is obviously because they are bottom. It's probably kind of be expected. Lots of ex-Salford players: Adam Sidlow, Tyrone McCarthy, Matt G, Liam Hood, Junior Sow, Ian Thornley. So lots of links there for us.
Yeah, there certainly is. There always is. There's been an awful lot of players, haven't there, that have crossed the divide between Leigh and Salford over the years, hasn't there? So there's always that bit there. I mean, Junior Sow as well, as you say, in the Leigh side. There's 1 or 2 others whose names escape me and what have you. But there's been a lot of players movement over the last couple of years between the 2 clubs, hasn't there? So yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Leigh. It's been a couple of seasons, hasn't it? The last time we played in there, the Cup game, I think it was in 2018.
Yeah.
Beat us, didn't they? I remember. Was that the game where we had to wait for Watto for about half an hour after the game?
Yeah.
And he come out of the change room, he's absolutely steaming.
Remember that?
We didn't know what to say to him. But I think the time before that was the 25-0 game. They beat us, didn't they? Before the Cup semi-final, 2017. So we've had some miserable journeys there, really, haven't we, over the last few years, and lost in the playoffs, didn't we? Lost that cup tie as well there in 2015, I think. So, yeah, we've had some poor performances there, and some tight games. But I think we just need to be professional. I think you look at the way we played at Cass a few weeks ago. We went there and did a job on them. We had a good result at Huddesfield, didn't we, in that 9-8 game? So yeah, let's just go there and defend, stay in that arm wrestle, play our game, and I think we should have, without being disrespectful to Leigh, I think we'll have too much for them, really, and we should be able to turn them over.
Yeah, there's also some deals as well. 22nd of August in the Centurion. You can watch United at 2:00, and then obviously make your way up to the Leigh Sports Village at 4:30, and in the what's this one? The Centurion pub, free pasties from 1 p.m. in the Centurion pub before the game, Paul. So if you're partial to a pasty, you can get down there.
Where have you got this information from?
Off the Red Shark group.
Oh, right. I was going to say, I thought someone at Leigh there has been tapping us up.
No.
Bit of advertising on the podcast.
No, that's what it says. Free
Where's
passes
the
from 1 p.m.
Where's the
at the Centurion pub before the match.
Where's that?
So if you fancy a pasty with a pint, go there and enjoy yourself.
Where is it, that Centurion pub?
The Centurion one, I think, is just off the bus station. It's a long time since I've been to Leigh, but I know it's around there. So yeah, get yourselves in there and enjoy a good pasty and pint. Yeah,
it's a good away trip, Leigh. I used to like going to Hilton Park, but the Leigh Sports Village is a good stadium as well. I was thinking today, was the Leigh Sports Village done the year before we moved to the AJ Bell? Was it about 2011 they moved in there? I think it was, wasn't it? Something like that one. They've been moved roughly about the same time as us, haven't they? To the new stadium. But it's a good facility. It's a really good stadium, isn't it? And it's fairly accessible as well, isn't it, off the dual carriageway there and what have you. So yeah, it should be a good trip. Looking forward to it. Is there any reason why it's kicking off at 4:30? Do we know?
Well, United kick off at 2, don't they?
So,
well, people will want to watch. Some fans kind of want to make that decision. So. I'll watch Salford or I'll go and watch United. But in this situation,
Leigh are the home team though. What's it got to do with Leigh? Or is it their own?
I suppose Leigh have the same kind of problems as we do, that they think we'll get a bigger crowd if we play them after the United game.
I suppose so.
Maximising potential walks up, possibly.
It was over my head, that football.
So yeah. So what's your score prediction for the match against Leigh? We'll start with the weather. What's the weather going to be like?
I don't know. Let me have a look. Is it going to rain? It's not really
as long as it's bigger. As long as it's a bigger font than the Supporters Trust advertising, you'll be all right.
Sunday, it's got 80% chance of rain, so it could be a bit greasy, the pitch, couldn't it? But I still think there'll be some points in this game, mate. I still think there'll be some points in this game. I'll go. I can't remember what I wrote in the League Express, but I went for quite a tight game. I think I'm going to go.
Write this down.
We don't score loads, do we?
No.
We don't score loads, so I'm going to go. Dog's attacking me.
Is it?
Get down. 20. Oh. Leigh 14, Salford 24.
14, 24. Is there a story behind that?
No, really. You've caught me on the up there. I've not really caught one this week.
Okay.
Tristan Inu scored a couple of tries.
Cool. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Leigh. Leigh 20, Salford 36. 36-20. I'm going to go Ackers with 2. Him dummy half going through.
Sorry, I'm just getting attacked by my dog. I'm getting heckled here. He's diving on me. No, I fancy that yet. Whatever. It's like Blue Peter, this, isn't it?
Yes. Never work with animals and kids.
I know. If we can get this result, I think I'd take anything, Robert. I just hope we get to carry on this momentum now against Leigh and the good work that we did against Huddersfield. If we can keep that going and we've got a Catalans coming up then on the Thursday, haven't we? We can be going into that with 6 wins. I think we're not going to make that playoffs now. I don't think mathematically we're going to be able to get to that now. I'm not sure. I've not really done the maths, but we've just got to keep looking at the table and finish as high as we can now, haven't we? And nobody knows how many games we're going to play with, games being postponed and things like that. So we're up to like round 20 now, aren't we? But I think we've played about 16 games. So we've just got to keep winning. Let's just see how we can go. And I'm positive that we can have a really good end to the season.
Yeah, another fantastic show, Paul. Been great talking all things Salford.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, Rob. It's been good to chat, and I hope Park is back next week, and he's been having a nice break. He's probably had a more relaxing week than what we've had, hasn't he? But it looked good that. But yeah, be looking forward to the weekend and the game, mate, and talking about it all next week.
Yeah, big thanks to this week's Devil in Detail podcast. I'm Rob Parkinson. You can find us on Facebook, Devil in Detail SRD. You can find us on Twitter at DITDSRD, and find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Radio Contact, Spotify, and YouTube. See you next week.